Welcome to Monkey Talk, brought to you by
the Bald Monkey Wrestling Podcast.
Captain Chuckles come from? I don't know. Yeah. One of our other podcast members came up with it one day.
Okay.
And it just stuck.
It stuck. I like it. It can be a wrestling name.
That is true.
Oh man. Do you see the stuff that happens off the air before we get on? But now we're on the air.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, welcome back to Monkey Talk. Welcome everybody who's in the chat. Rhino JB in the chat. Everybody say hi to Rhino JB in the chat. Famous guy.
Hey.
I mean, he's huge out there. Huge. Big guy in the Twitch universe. Thanks for joining us tonight. We got CEO Matt hanging out, Cooper hanging out. We got CK in there. We got tons of people in the chat already. Everybody is buzzing for tonight. And the captain is here. And Captain, why is everyone buzzing? What is going on tonight?
Balls. But after that, we're here with one of our podcast favorites coming onto the radar over the last, Chris, 5 or 6 months, all the way from over the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, someplace called Bulgaria. He is the Bulgarian Khan. You might have seen him in some promotions, Evolve, ACW, WWA4, where he trains, and of course in Action Wrestling. We have tonight with us the Matt Scientist, Damyan Tangra. Thank you for joining us tonight, sir.
Wow, what a nice, incredible introduction. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for having me on the Bald Monkeys podcast here on Twitch. So fun to be here. Thank you.
See, he fits right in because he gets the marketing stuff in there, talks about Twitch, gives the name of the podcast.
Nails it.
You know, he's
mention Twitch.
We're gonna sign him up.
He's got the hometown rest shirt on. He's ready to promote. You know where he's training.
WWA4.
I mean, he's a natural. I mean, we could just sit back and let him do the whole podcast right now. It's like
the whole show.
I can promote my cat too.
Oh yeah, we got cat promotion. There he is.
Oh, there's the cat.
This is the mysterious cat, Bonnie Tangra. She's trying to jump on everything.
Bonnie Tangra. What perfect name. So those of you who don't know this story, we might get into it, but Bonnie is mischievous, and Bonnie got out after, right after, essentially, the tapings were going on for Action Wrestling. And Damyan had to run to go find Bonnie, who was out causing trouble. And thankfully, Bonnie was found. We can maybe get more into that, but it's a happy ending. Let's put it that way.
Yes, correct.
And everyone loves Cat Daddy because this is a cat family. I feel like I know the captain has a dog, but the wrestling seems to be cat family. There's a lot of us that have cats. We have the booking cat that Matt. Matt has. I have a cat somewhere around here. You have a couple of cats. What is it about cats and wrestling? What is
it about cats and wrestling? First of all, the Action Cat. How we can't talk or not talk about the Action Cat? I've had many interactions with Action Cat, and it's very nice, very cool, very educated. What's the thing about cats? First of all, I live in a relatively small apartment, so I don't have the schedule and the time to take care of dogs. I used to have a dog back home in Bulgaria, but here I'm driving all the time, working all the time, going to shows. So just cats for now, easier to take care of. That's my viewpoint.
Yeah, well, you think you hit it on the head. The fact that you're probably on the road a bit, and out and about. A cat can kind of be self-sufficient as long as she's not running out the door and trying to get away.
Yes, exactly.
Troublemaker.
Now she has a little bell and a tracking device. It's like a little compact.
There you go.
I don't want to go through the same thing. I was looking for her for maybe 3 maybe 6 hours. So
Oh my
Wow.
lord,
yeah,
dude!
yeah.
I know how that goes because my dog is like a part hound, part hunting dog, so
Okay.
she just wants to go sniff and follow every scent that hits her face. And she broke away from our leash once or twice, and I mean she is quick. She was in the woods across the street from our house, down the road. Like I was like running through the woods in the middle of the
Yeah.
winter trying to find her, and we got her back though. So
Yeah.
All
That's
happy
good.
endings. Yeah.
yes.
All right, so we'll get back to the cats. We'll get back to the dogs. We'll get back to any other animals that might pop up in the stream as we're talking through here. As always, in the chat, go ahead and throw any questions out there. We have a moment or two. We'll pop them into the questions as we talk to Damyan here, but we need to start the conversation at the beginning. We need to find out more about where it all began and what a young Matt scientist, Damyan Tangra, was like. What was it like growing up when you were a wee little scientist?
A little scientist. Um, as a kid, I think I was kind of shy, uh, but I was watching wrestling all the time, pretty much. I think since I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, I was watching wrestling. Back home in Bulgaria, wrestling was very popular around the 2000, 2002, and we were kind of getting the last part of the Attitude Era. But if something happens, like let's say a show airs today, we're gonna get the show maybe 2 or 3 months after that, if not more.
Oh wow.
Du- Dubbed in Bulgarian, and I just got hooked on it. There's my poster fell. I can tell you how cheap I am with tape.
Matt,
And I
give this man
actually,
some more tape. Come on.
Yeah, come on, Matt.
actually, that's a stolen poster too. So,
Oh,
What
but
poster?
what? Yeah,
what
there's my
poster? I
poster.
don't know about that. There were, yeah. But so I think I was kind of shy, but I was trying to be active and go out and just play a bunch of like games and soccer and volleyball, different sports, and it was pretty fun just being out in the dirt and just enjoying life with my friends.
So what's it like having a 2 month lead time before you get the wrestling dubbed in your language? Is there surprises, or do you find out everything beforehand and you still are eager to watch it because it's in your native language?
Hmm. When I was watching it on TV, dubbed and with the delay of whatever number of months, I wasn't, I guess, smart enough to find out the results by myself. So I was just waiting on the results, and I had no idea that it's kind of like a show style. To me, everything was like they're fighting for their lives, and I was just enjoying that. The Rock was like pretty big. I was pretty big fan of him, and I remember my earliest memory kind of was they were putting over the it was Rikishi versus The Rock,
Mm.
maybe Raw, maybe SmackDown, I don't remember, but it was very late, and I was watching, and the commentary team goes that Rikishi was about to do a bonsai drop, and they said that if he actually hits it, that might be like the end of The Rock. So I got super scared. I was maybe 7 or 8. I switched the channel because I didn't want to see him like fall on The Rock. Then like a minute, I switched the channel back, and then I see The Rock is missing like his elbow pad. So now it's like, okay, The Rock is in control. He did the people's elbow probably, or tried to, and then The Rock I think beat him, and that was like one of my first memories about wrestling. But it was fun because I couldn't like Google the results. So to me, everything was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean the element of surprise is important as a wrestling fan.
Hmm.
I mean, even today, and I know Matt would appreciate this as much as we have a relationship with action wrestling. We're still wrestling fans, and we want to be surprised. Uh, we want to be at moments, and the only way to get a moment is to not know it's coming. Otherwise, it's kind of boring when you know it's coming. So I'm glad you were still surprised and get to be a fan of
Hmm.
that. What was your setup like as far as like getting ready to watch wrestling? Did you have a ritual? I've never really asked this question. I feel like I should start asking because I remember
Hmm.
it was always about like, okay, I got to get control of the TV. I got to get my snacks. I can't get up unless it's a commercial. I need to be prepared because who knows what's going to happen over these next 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, that's a very good question actually. I started watching the shows uh, more often after WrestleMania 23, and then I started watching the shows right when they air. Not the day of, but the next day, the next morning.
Okay.
So my ritual pretty much was I go back from school, I have my match loaded, I'll watch it, and maybe like eat something, drink something like a pop, soda or pop, and then. But I was like so hooked because at one point I started like analyzing the wrestling, and then I think I smartened myself up to be like, okay, I started reading like behind the scenes stuff and all that, and I still was trying to be surprised, which I think I agree with you. That's a one of the coolest things about wrestling when you legitimately get surprised. And I think I was appreciating it on a different level
Mhm.
at that point.
It's like the origin of the scientist. Do you hear that? Like how he was like, I could just see him with a beaker and it's smoking and stuff and just thinking, taking
Writing
notes.
stuff. Exactly.
So you mentioned Rock, you mentioned Rikishi. I always kind of gravitate towards like what people say first. Were those the wrestlers that stood out to you? Were there other wrestlers that stood out as maybe your favorites or ones you just gravitated towards?
Definitely in the beginning it was The Rock. Um, I actually enjoyed Kane a lot when he had the mask, and it was I think 2002, 2003. Um, and after that, when I started like thinking about maybe wrestling myself, I started watching more Daniel Bryan, Kyle O'Reilly, Shibata from New Japan, and
Mhm.
wrestlers with that kind of style because I knew I won't be able to do all the flips, all the crazy maneuvers. And I wanted to present, mm, what's the right word? Maybe not more realistic, but more fight-like style.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of other than WWE? Did you get any other shows that you could watch when you were back home there?
Mm, we have a channel called Eurosport, and if I'm not mistaken, they might have been doing like highlights or
Mm,
maybe just one or two matches of maybe Impact or TNA at that time. Um, very later on, after I went home one time and I've already started wrestling, I saw that they're doing even maybe New Japan. I saw it on
okay,
one of the channels, but before
nice.
that, no, just WWE.
Gotcha. It's funny you said you had a channel called Eurosport. I actually
Yeah.
had a car that was called a Eurosport that I
Yes.
actually sold to Christopher,
I
whichever way I want to point.
I had that car too.
I know.
Okay. How's
See
Eurosport doing
everything. It's who knows. Who knows?
I'll
It's
tell you how it's doing. It used to have a soda plastic container that sat behind the driver's seat because
then?
this guy sold me a car that the driver's seat didn't actually stay in place. So the soda container stopped the driver's seat. When you hit the gas, you would actually go like,
something happened to it off the track, and my dad gave it to me. It came off the track, and he's like, just put he worked in the grocery business. He's like, just put some of the plastic Coke containers behind it, the plastic holders behind it. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
that
Is
car.
your dad Bulgarian?
Is your dad Bulgarian? Is that a
No.
little bit,
hey,
maybe?
hey, but that car, man. What are we talking about the stupid white Eurosport for?
This is this is how it goes.
This is how
Sometimes
it
we
goes.
just talk about random stuff.
Full circle balls.
Full circle.
Well,
Cars, wheels.
We
that's such a
oh
Bulgarian fix though. If they can't
eh,
fix it with like piece of tape or something like that, it's not fixable.
I mean, but that car was a tank though, man. I there was an accident on the highway one time, and I got hit from behind at like 35 miles an hour, and nothing happened to the bumper. Like it didn't shift up or down. It didn't get like crushed in. I mean, it was boom solid.
I know why.
Mhm.
I know why.
What the
Because it
Coke
had an
thing?
Austin 316 bumper sticker on it.
Ooh.
There you
You
go.
can't you can't take down Austin 316.
Nope,
You can't.
can't beat it. Anyway,
Right?
back on track. Where are we going now, Christopher?
I think we're up to origins of wrestling and how that even like comes about with a guy who's 2 months behind in the current events of wrestling and duct taping his TV together or whatever he's doing to make sure that he can catch wrestling. Like how does wrestling come about? Like how does becoming a wrestler even come into your mind?
That was that's a very good question too. That was maybe I think when I was in my later teen years, I started to like think about that idea, but wrestling back home is kind of fraud upon a little bit because the everybody that's like old enough kind of knows that it's a show style, scripted to a certain extent. So a lot of my friends grew out of wrestling, and I never did. So it's kind of like a thing that I just did, kind of like uh, alone and by myself, just watching wrestling, keeping up with everything. But funny enough, whenever the big pay-per-views will come out, they're always going to be the most watched thing for the week back home. So let's figure that out. But anyway, um, I think I was maybe 17 or 18, and I was trying to decide what I want to do with my life. And long story short, um, I just don't want to be a person that uh, wakes up one day and is like, what if? What if I pursue this career? What if I do this? And in my opinion, a lot of people could do that too, to where it's like they should just pursue whatever they want. And in my case, that was wrestling. And even though it is a little bit difficult to do that back home in Bulgaria yet, I started looking for schools, started looking for ways. Then I kind of found out that you have to go to a wrestling school to start all that. I had no idea how you're getting into a wrestling promotion. And I did that, educated myself a little bit. Everything became or looked way more difficult than it was. And I thought, you know what? I'll just give it like 5 or 6 years and see if I can get to anywhere. And if it doesn't work, I'll be at least like maybe under my 30s and I can still go back home and enjoy my normal life and I'll have no problems with that.
Now, did all of that, looking for wrestling schools, did that happen when you came over to the States? Or was any of that when you were still back home?
It happened when I was back home because I was watching for wrestling schools just to see like what wrestling schools are like, and of course the most popular ones appeared first. I think it was OVW and etc. But then I looked at the price, and it wasn't. I could not just I couldn't afford it, and that too that Bulgarian money, our currency is less than the US dollar, and we averagely make less, so it's like a big gap.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I found out that the WWA4 is relatively cheaper than the other wrestling schools, and I started looking up their trainees and alumni, and I found out about Air Fox, found out about Jonathan Gresham and a lot and many others, and started following them. And I saw that they're doing very good and they're active at the moment. So that's really what brought me to that brought the WWA4 to my attention. And then I
Gotcha.
tried to yes, and after that I tried to come to Georgia to work, but there was a big storm. I had a scheduled interview to work for McDonald's. It didn't work out. I ended up going to Ohio, and that's a whole different story from there.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is he's trying to do his geography right now.
Oh yeah, it's
Calculator, bro, get out of here. So you start at WWA4. Now, do you have now? And again, I'm going to put our crack research team on the line here. We're going to see if they come out with good, solid information. But they're telling me that you had a little bit of a background in some mixed martial arts like jujitsu, Muay Thai, things like that.
hmm uh, from Bulgaria. I have God from Bulgaria. I had a background in kickboxing, Muay Thai. Uh, I did that for 2 years or 2.5 years before I came to the States. Actually, while I was coming to the States, because I will come to work for 4 or 5 months during the summer, then go back and do it again for like 2, 3 summers. And during my school year back home, I'll train kickboxing. And I think my second summer, I started training jujitsu in Ohio under Brandon Copeland with Kong Jiu-Jitsu. So that was pretty cool.
How much did that background help you once you got into the wrestling ring and everything?
I think kickboxing helped me a lot with footwork because and soccer helped me with the footwork of kickboxing. So it's kind of like the dominoes effect.
Mm-hmm.
What my father used to tell me is like you don't have to be the best player in any sports, but if you know a good number of sports, the odds are you'll just be like your movements will be kind of good,
You
if
got the
that makes sense.
fundamentals. Yeah.
Yes, yes. If you have an understanding for the sport, so soccer helped me with kickboxing. Kickboxing helped me with positioning in the ring and how to do the least amount of steps. And even though I still have to work on that, and then jujitsu just gave me a different appreciation for the ground game and submissions, and it changed my perception about that. Just fighting on your back, sorts of like different tricks and traps. That I really enjoyed that.
While you're at A4, how was the training that you got there from AR Fox and a number of the other people that came through? I mean, we were talking about it before we got on the air. We talked to Alex Kane. Alex Kane comes from A4 as well. You guys have had many matches together. So what was the environment like there as you were learning?
Do you want the long answer or the short answer?
We you
Let me
this
see.
is your show.
Long answer. They want
Long
the long
answer.
answer. They want the long answer.
Yep.
We need to fill content. They want the long answer.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so in 2015, I did a 3-day camp at the WWA4, and it was still the old location of the school. It was behind Club Wax in Georgia. So it's like a nightclub. It was behind that. And the first time I went there was like a big security guy just telling me, "What are you doing here? You can't park here," because the parking was like paid. And then I'm like, "Well, I just want to go train." I thought that should be like a very prestigious school if they have bodyguards. Then I found
Yeah.
out that bodyguard is not like for the school. There's like a big small like a small entrance for us at the back. So I went and Mr. Hughes was a trainer. So for 3 days I just did chaining, just wrist lock, hammer lock. Maybe I hit the ropes 10 or 20 times. That was pretty much it. But I loved it because that was my first experience with wrestling, professional wrestling ever. 2016, I came back and now I signed up for the WWA4. But Air Fox has taken the school over, and they were still at the old location, but then the training was so much more, I guess, active, and like he is pushing you to be your best self. Even though you might not think you're ready for something, he'll just be like, "Okay, go ahead and try it, have a match, and see what happens." So I was there for maybe a month. In 2016, um, I think Leon Gray was starting, Leon Ruff was starting, Austin Theory was, I think, maybe has started like months ago. So it was like pretty cool to see everybody there. Everybody was very helpful. It was pretty cool experience in Fox. I loved the fact that I remember the first thing that I came to my mind was he was showing me some stuff and maybe like the bumps, and he bumped for me like out of nowhere. I didn't ask him to bump, and I know that some wrestlers are very um, not weird, but they save their bumps, which makes sense to
Mm,
me. But he just attacked the mat and just bumped for me for just to show me something. And then I was like, I can't just now Air Fox bumped for me, maybe for almost no reason. But he did it because he's passionate about it. And that really like made me realize that he's very passionate about what he's doing and his training. And ever since I just kept training. And actually this past year is my first year that I trained full time. Maybe now it's year and a half. Before that, I had to stop a bunch of times and keep going and stop because life happens. But now it has been a year and a half nonstop training.
nice. What do you think your biggest takeaway from training has been?
My biggest takeaway from training, um, first of all, it's you can learn something from anybody. I think that's very important. I might be put in a scenario where maybe I have more experience than somebody, but I can still learn from it. And also, if I'm put in a scenario where I know less than somebody else that I'm wrestling with, I can definitely learn from them too. And learning something doesn't mean exactly what's right, but also what's wrong.
Mm-hmm. So now in an action ring, we have seen you up against the likes, like we said, of Alex Kane, Cabana Man Dan, Dom Guarini, which was a fabulous match. I will say that was the poster that did
The
fall
stolen
off the
poster.
wall.
Nice graphic.
Yeah, right. uh, and then in the last show that actually just got put out on IWTV today, and if you
Mm-hmm.
go to iwtv.live or get the app, you can sign up for 5 free days with what's the code, Christopher? I can't remember.
I believe it's action. I'm pretty
Action. Yeah,
sure. I'm pretty sure it's
it.
action.
That's it.
That's
We saw
one
you.
of the codes.
That's one of them. Yeah, we saw you against Dylan McQueen.
Dylan.
Out of those matches, what match did you have the most fun in, and what match did you learn the most from?
Okay. First of all, this is my cheap plug
I,
alert.
I was wondering what was going on. I'm like, is he getting arrested? What's happening?
We're
Cheap
losing our
plug alert.
guest.
You can follow me on Instagram, just Damyan Tangra. I'll be there. And that is done. But all that being done,
Cheap
what match
plug.
I learned the most from? um, that's very interesting.
Dave, we ask the hard hitting questions here. You know, we don't mess around.
You don't mess around. You cut to the chase. It's all cut off, cut off, cut off. Big moves, falsies. Um, so, uh, Cabana Man. I mean, I learned from all the matches, and I'll tell you what I learned so far from the four matches really quickly. Wrestling Alex, um, I was going with the mindset that we're gonna have a 15, 20 minute match, kill it, and I was going to take the craziest bumps, and then when we go to because that was like the WWE 4, we don't have time, so we do whatever. And I was going with that mindset, and then when I went, I was told that we're gonna have 4 minutes, and then I realized that all my crazy bumps cannot happen. So from that match, I learned that it you have a certain role within the card, and our role was he does suplexes and he does them in a very very good way. And how can we play with the characters that we have in 4 minutes, which I think
Mm-hmm.
that's very interesting and very cool too. And we thought it would be 4 minutes, but we actually had a match that's 2:45 or something like that. So in my head it was like, oh yes, 4 minutes, we nailed it. And it's like 2:45. You could have used more time. Okay. Uh, then after that, I believe it was Cabana Man Dan. I found out about that match Thursday night. So Friday is the match, and then I was like, okay, I'm excited. I don't have any crazy ideas for crazy bumps because if I had 4 minutes last time, maybe now I have three. Not exactly, but I knew that I had to be prepared to like change whatever ideas I had. And Dan was first of all super polite, very respectful, very easy to work with. Um, he did not shut down any of my ideas. In fact,
Nice.
in opposite, he tried to implement everything. And the the professional that he is, he also at some points was like, you know what, I want you to look good too. And that to me, that was pretty nice. That was pretty nice, and I had very much. I had the biggest pleasure of working with him. It was a fun match. I learned that uh, you can work around anything, and as long as the idea is of me making my opponent look good and my opponent making me look good, then we're gonna have a crazy match. It doesn't matter how long it is.
Yeah.
Dominic Guarini, that was probably the way I took it was a big test, because not only it's just for because of my opponent, but also because they announced a match. I think they announced Nolan and Henry, and I think they either announced one more match or maybe they announced me third. So it was okay. Maybe that match is important. So that there was some pressure there, but I think there was pressure because I got into my head too much. And
Mm-hmm.
when I went there, Dominic was super chill, super cool. We talked for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. It was like, I'll see you in the ring. But I studied him, so I knew what he would do, and I know that it's gonna be back and forth, and he's gonna come striking and trying to submit me. So some of the moments you can see he's going for his signature stuff, but I'm already like maybe mid-air thinking, okay, how do I get out of that? Okay, good. Like just do a roll, do something. It's because I've played that match in my head a couple times, and then Dylan McQueen, he's a lot tougher than people actually think. He's very tough, very smart. Um, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, and with him, first of all, the reaction that I got from the action fans, the fans at the building on Friday was pretty nice. It caught me off guard. I want to have that kind of reaction, but I've had it just maybe 3 times now uh, in my career where I knew that whatever I do, they'll react.
Mm.
And it was now when I think about it, I'll probably get goosebumps. It was pretty nice, pretty cool.
Nice. So Matt had a couple of clarifications on the timing of the match. It was 2 minutes 27 seconds.
Oh, nice.
So 2 minutes 20 seconds, and he also just plugged in and said that Dom asked for the match against you.
Yes, that was another thing. Yeah, that was crazy to me too. Yeah.
That's got to make you feel good inside that you know somebody that has been around for as long as Dom has, and the respect that he commands, I think in my eyes on the independent circuit, to have him ask for that match is, I mean, that would make me feel all giddy inside.
I'll get inside. Thank you, Dominic. Don't be so angry.
Why are you so angry?
Yeah, I think there's sometimes on this podcast where Tiro or where Chris is just like, can you just shut up? Why are you saying these things?
It's the words. You just, I don't know. Giddy is not a word. When I look at the captain, I do not think giddy. But hey, I mean,
have you seen
whatever floats your boat?
You've seen the GIF out there. You've used the GIF. That GIF is giddy. All in one thing. So anyway, we talked about what's coming up, and we talked about today. Action dropped the you can't do that in a wrestling ring show, so you can go onto iwtv and check that out. Another show that's coming out upcoming is tomorrow night. We have the Supgraps Southern Underground Pro Show, where you face off against Adam Priest. And what I hope is
super excited for this one.
I hope he's not pulling his this is an exhibition bout that he does sometimes in action.
That's in action. This is different. Okay, different ring, different promotion. This is an official match.
I'm just checking. So we have that coming out tomorrow, which is going to be a phenomenal. I can't wait to see that match. When it was announced, as you know, Christopher doesn't want me to use this word, I got all giddy inside again. Because it's two of the younger talents from Action, facing off against each other, and you guys are both very, very good wrestlers. And I think that's the biggest thing about that match for myself, is what I'm looking for, is the pure wrestling aspect of that match.
First of all, thank you very much for the compliments. It was very fun wrestling him, and I think at that point it was his first match after the Haas tournament that he just won in Alabama with New South, which that was a crazy 2-day experience. And yeah, I was very excited to work with him. So Underground Pro, first of all, they were very professional. Everybody got tested. Everybody was negative. They run the show very tight. It's my third show that I do tapings for, and they were very fast. It was like a big wrestling family, really, run by wrestlers that just wanted to get as much done and as professional and also as fun as it could be. I'm excited for you guys to watch the match tomorrow, and for everybody to watch the match and the entire show. Yeah, it was very fun. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I really enjoyed it.
Nice. And now, one of the other things we want to talk about is Paradigm. You mentioned the tapings. what can you tell us about, some of the stuff that you've done with Paradigm Pro as well? Uh-oh.
First of all,
Uh-oh.
before we do
Uh-oh.
that,
Oh, oh,
I
the
saw
light's
the
on.
light. I saw the
you,
light.
you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Damyan Tangra. You can find all the good stuff there. Please do it. She
I
plug
think
alert is.
I think you have 150 subscribers right now on YouTube.
Oh wow, that would be pretty nice. 123, I believe, this morning.
Well,
Hopefully, maybe after this.
there
But
goes research.
There goes.
back to your question though, with Paradigm Pro Wrestling. First of all, Alex Kane was the person that uh, was invited officially to do the tapings with Paradigm, and he offered me to go with him. And I had no idea if anything will come out of it, but I was like, no, what, it's worth it, and I'll do it, and it'll be fun. And we were there for 2 days. I think the first day, Friday or Saturday or Friday, I'm not sure, one of the weekend days. There were maybe 30 plus matches taped. So it was like six WrestleManias back to back to back. And it was pretty fun. They were very professional, everybody. I can say that I was part of the UWFI and also part of No Hook.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything else, but they made a post about it, so I think that people know that. But it was very nice. I'm very excited for both the matches, the UWFI match and the No Hook match. Um, it was a very good learning experience, and I got to interact with a lot of the people that were part of the show, just because you're in the same building for maybe 8 plus hours, so you run into everybody.
Yeah.
And as you said, Dominic being um, the professional that he is, and he's so experienced, he was there, and that was like after our action match. And now the way that we kind of interacted was so much different and so much more, like, I guess, warmer in a way. Um, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed like interacting with everybody there. They had an amazing crew. It was my first time wrestling in Indiana too, so that was very fun. A little bit cold, but we hit Waffle House after that, so it was well worth
There
it.
you go.
Yes. And Alex Kane, when he walks into Waffle House, he becomes the Waffle Assassin.
Wait, the what?
The Waffle Assassin.
The
I don't know how to pronounce
Waffle
Assassin.
Assassin.
Waffle Assassin. Yes.
If that is not a T-shirt,
I was thinking the same exact thing.
I'm just saying.
the waffle.
He can do a lot.
All right, I mean, got some work to do.
Do you have anything else coming up that you can tell us about?
Mm, well, with Southern Underground Pro, I had the Adam Priest match, but I don't know if I only had the Adam Priest match.
We did get the scoop when we interviewed Dylan that there would be match possibly. So
Yes.
taping possibly. So we are interested to see what comes out of it. Obviously, tomorrow night's the big premiere. Can't wait to see that, and can't wait to see what that leads into, because knowing how those guys think, I'm sure the premiere is not going to be just, well, it's over, it's done with, there's no story past this.
Yeah.
So it should be exciting. What is that, tomorrow
So,
night? IWTV? Is it 8 p.m.? Did I get that right? Or is it earlier? It's 7 p.m.
I believe it's 8.
I think it's 8.
The old Central Eastern time that throws me off.
Yeah, no.
I'll tweet about it. Don't worry, folks. And somebody will correct me in the chat in a second, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
The Action Cat.
The Action Cat will be all over that. So this is where you currently are. This is all the different promotions we can find you at. But what are you motivated to do in wrestling? What's pushing you forward? What's your goals in a wrestling ring?
I have. That's a very good question again. I have a lot of goals within the wrestling ring, and I have goals outside of the wrestling ring.
Okay.
I'll share some of my goals outside of the wrestling ring, because up to um, up to my knowledge, according to me, I think I'm the second Bulgarian that is doing professional wrestling right now, besides Miro. But also, I'll give you some scoop too. There's some more Bulgarians coming.
Ooh.
Oh.
So there's a very talented guy in Miami. He's in Florida. He's training with Gangrel Meto. So he is training with one of the trainers that helped Miro, and I keep in touch with him. There's another. I'm not sure if he's still wrestling, but another person in Orlando, Florida, Yavo. He's training wrestling too. I have a friend that I keep in touch with in the UK. He just started training maybe a month ago, and he is 15 or 16.
Wow.
And I think that hopefully in the next 10 years we can see a lot more Bulgarians in breaking into wrestling, and hopefully like retire down the line when my retirement comes, whatever the case is. I would love to contribute to uh, the Bulgarian side of professional wrestling and maybe even do something back home. That would be
Nice.
pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's really cool, and it's nice to see that you have already the process and thought in place to not only what are you going to do after wrestling, but how are you going to give back and how are you going to give more people the opportunity that obviously, you benefited from, and make it a little bit easier for folks to get over the Bulgarian Revolution in the wrestling industry. I like
Bulgarian strong style.
Bulgarian strong style. But what about in the ring? What's happening in the ring?
What is happening in the ring? Mm, like you're talking about accomplishments with wrestling or
Yeah,
just
like what do you aspire to be as a wrestler? I mean, it the idea of helping others outside is that really the main motivation for wrestling, or do you have a dream of, every kid made themselves a fake wrestling belt, they took their old baseball belt and they wrapped it around some cardboard, colored it in and called it the championship belt. No one ever did that, but I mean,
yeah. I mean, I did that too. I had like the cardboard belt and all that, and they actually turned out pretty good. The only thing was that when I printed the images, it was black and white, but it was still good. Um,
printed. I had a
Yeah,
crayon and a
I know.
marker, dude.
Exactly.
but first of all, I would like to make wrestling be my only job with different streams of income because of professional wrestling, and that's why if you see the lights, it's cheap plug time again. You can support me on Patreon, Damyan Tangra. Find me there, please. Okay, cheap plug is
I've heard
over.
some good things about the Patreon. The chat was actually already talking about the Patreon.
Yes.
I told them to hold up. We haven't gotten to that plug yet.
Okay, but of course that with the WWE 4, I had the chance of. It's like a to me, it's a very small world of professional wrestling there. That's how I look at it. And even though I might be what year and a half in, 2 years in, whatever the case is, um, I might be one of the little bit more experienced guys there. And when I work with people that are less experienced than me, I am the person that kind of leads the match to a certain way. So I like that, but also I like the moments where I'm the one that has to chase the person that is more experienced and be careful, be on my toes, have to deliver, over deliver, push the more experienced guy or girl to even improve themselves too. I like both sides to where it's like you can be the man and you help create the man or the woman. I had the pleasure of working with Bobby Flacco, and maybe
Hey
when I
yo.
was, ayo, when I was
Bob's here.
4, Bob's
Bob's,
not here.
Bob's not
Maybe
here.
he
Bob's not
might
here.
be.
Bob's not here.
But when we wrestled, one of the times it was January 1st, 2019. I won. He dropped the internet championship to me, the schools championship, and that kind of made me the, I guess, the second whatever like um, person in power there for the championships, and that was pretty cool. But then when I got the chance to actually do the same, actually with Alex Kane, it was pretty cool to be in that role too. So, yeah, answering your question, I would love to win the championships, to be put in a position to be the man and be trusted to lead something, but also I enjoy the position of creating the man. So, and also, I think that you can do both, where it's like you help build somebody up, but also I have my own ways to build myself up, um, and that's very important. And also, I want to have fun. I want to have fun. I think wrestling can be whatever you make it. I recently had a thumb wrestling match, and I mean, if that's not pushing the envelope, I don't know.
Serious business.
It is.
Yeah.
Serious business with thumbs. So that's inside the ring. You mentioned a
Mhm.
little bit about outside the ring, but I want to find out outside of wrestling. What are you doing to keep busy besides chasing Bonnie around when she
Yeah.
gets out? What what's a Bulgarian do for hobbies?
Nobody has asked me what Bulgarians do for hobbies.
Hey,
uh,
we're groundbreaking here,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
We don't mess around.
um, I can definitely get burned out from wrestling, so that's kind of like right now, kind of my hobby. Um, I bartend. That's like my real job and all that. Um, but besides that, um, I like to travel. I like to travel a lot. I've actually traveled more in the USA than back home, which hopefully I get to do that soon as well. Um, just I don't know, just I have I watch a lot of soccer too if I have the chance. But with the time difference, I watch European soccer with the time difference here. It's like two p.m. and then the big finals are happening and it's nighttime back home. If and I'm like that throws me off. But I like keep watching that. I'm a big Liverpool fan.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nice.
He gave me some ammo there for when I come back, but he also
Oh
had a
yeah.
lovely segue talking about traveling.
I know. Traveling stories, and usually we keep them in the line of wrestling traveling stories. But do you have any just fun traveling stories in general, especially having come over from overseas? Tell us some fun stories of places that you've seen and experiences.
Okay, the first thing that kind of recent, not too recently, but kind of recently pops in my head is when we went to the taping of Southern Underground Pro at the Basement East in Nashville. It was my second time going there. The first time I went there for a GCW event, Game Changer Wrestling, and I didn't know how the arena looks like, and I drove by myself, so I had no idea what to expect. And I think like 2 blocks down, there's like a church, and they had some kind of meeting. So I went into the church and asked, "Where's the wrestling event?" by myself, and everybody just turned around looking at me like, "We don't do that here. Just go."
Just head out.
Yeah, just leave. Uh, One time when we were at the Evolve Loops, I think it was Florida. I was driving with Air Fox and Ayla Fox, and for some reason, I'm always the last person to get my luggage to kind of like get uh, change my clothes and all that. So I was a little bit late, and they told me that everybody from the WWA4 we're gonna get together at one of the restaurants and we're just gonna party. That was pretty cool. But because I was a little bit late, they kind of forgot me. So I was just I was just standing outside there and being like, "Well, where's the car now?" And they just left. So
Oh
I had
man.
to call. I had to call. But I think it was like misunderstanding because after that, um,
Language
they
barrier.
actually forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they actually forgot me again after that too. After the rest, so maybe they're trying to tell me something. But I made my way to the hotel and all that, so it ended good. I just had to ask somebody else for a ride from the boys.
Nice. Have you had a favorite place in the states that you visited so far? Like, not, it doesn't have to do anything with wrestling, just a city or a state or someplace that you've been.
Um, I the more I do shows outside of the WWF Pro Wrestling School, the more I get to appreciate the school itself and just how freeing it is to do whatever you want to do. And it's just there's no pressure. We just go there, perform, and see whatever happens. So I enjoy wrestling there a lot. I feel like a home away from home. But location wise, I really enjoyed Ybor City, one of the evolves that we did because we had a little bit more time to just go around, and it was very nice day as well. Just Florida in general, when the weather is nice, it's pretty cool if you have time to just relax.
Yeah, it is nice
Mhm.
down there.
Tyrone too. Tyrone with Action. Recently they have been giving me such a good treatment that I think I take it for granted, but it's I've been there for quite a while now, and they just started treating me so good, which I appreciate that.
All right, so this is the time that we're going to talk through favorites. Anybody in the chat right now, throw some questions out for Damyan. Whatever you feel like asking is fine. Cooper, I see yours. I'll get to it in a second. But I want to go through some of our staple favorites real quick. So, on the road, getting ready for a wrestling match, deciding what you're going to walk into, what type of music does a mat scientist like to listen to?
Oh, nice. I listen to Bulgarian rap a lot.
What is Bulgarian rap?
Christopher, it's rapping in Bulgarian. Come on.
Is that it? Is it as simple as that? I mean, did you just dab on me?
I double dabbed on you.
That was
double
two.
dab.
I
Balls.
double dab.
Balls.
But I like listening to Bulgarian rap to get me pumped up, and it kind of gives me that, in a way, that swagger and maybe even overconfidence in a way because it kind of makes me angry too because I'm not home. So it kind of mixes all those emotions, and I'm like, man, I could have been home now, but I'm not. So might as well just listen to the music, and it gets me pumped up. Of course, from the more like popular music and like American music, I love kind of like new rock, that kind of style. Where like my favorite band is Linkin Park, and I know they're kind of like whatever considered old school, but I actually had the chance to go to their concert in 2016, uh, and they had a concert together with 30 Seconds to Mars,
Oh, nice.
which, yeah, and I wasn't aware of 30 Seconds to Mars at that point, which was a big mistake. After that, I familiarized myself with them, but um, it was such a good experience. It was in Buffalo, New York, and it was like a big field. It was nice. It was nice. So new rock, Bulgarian rap, or hip hop, and whatever, some of the pop songs too. Whatever's catchy, whatever's trending.
So I wait, hold on.
Guys, get to it.
I gotta know who. What are some of the names of your favorite Bulgarian rappers?
Oh,
because
wow.
I am definitely gonna check this out because I want to hear this.
One guy that I'm really into his music is called Yafkata Dolaga.
Okay, I'm gonna get the spelling of that after the show is over.
Yes, definitely. Uh, uh, I mean, I can say it in Bulgarian, but I don't think they have English translations, kind of, because it's names.
Say it in Bulgarian. We could watch this back and we could try to translate it. It's okay. Yeah.
The one guy is Boro Prvi, which means like Boro the First. That's kind of like a Khan or King's kind of like name. He's very popular right now. Absurd. It's a band. They're popular. Dimcho. That's just the name. So yeah, I'll play it sometimes at the action shows.
We'll DM. We'll get some.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we'll get some links in because I know him. He wants to listen to all of them because he likes to research music. So.
Yeah, it's you're gonna be surprised how much it sounds kind of like maybe a little bit old school American rap.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what song or music that maybe people wouldn't realize? I know Bulgarian rap's probably one of the types, but what song or music maybe that people would be surprised, or maybe even like a guilty pleasure that you might have as far as music that you may be a little embarrassed even to tell people that you listen
Don't tell anybody, but I listen to Taylor Swift.
to? Nobody will know.
Nobody will know.
Oh, geez. The captain is upset. We didn't tell anybody. Captain, you didn't hear that.
I didn't hear
Exactly.
it.
I muted all the mics. No one knows anything. It's between me and Damien. That's it.
Somehow my earphones fell out. I didn't hear anything.
You don't have earphones. Oh.
Mind blown. So we got 2 questions in the chat so far. I'll jump into them and we'll jump back into what I got. Again, throw any Val's already clipping it. Throw any other questions in the chat. I'm not sure about this one. Favorite bald promoter? Not sure. Not sure about that one.
Matt Griffin. Matt Griffin, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah. I get that. All-time dream opponent. That's from Cooper. That's anybody all time.
Maybe Chris Jericho.
Does Chris Jericho make you tap, or do you make Chris Jericho tap?
Oh, that's a good question. What if we both tap at the same time?
It could happen.
Mind blown. That's a pretty good one. All right. So let's stay along those lines because I love submission. I love submission matches. I love submission moves. What's your favorite submission move?
I go to the STF from very different scenarios. So that's like a very I guess easy move for me and kind of comes not exactly natural, but I've worked myself into doing it. Besides that, triangle choke or Kimura or sometimes even armbar. But the armbar and the triangle choking like blend into each other kind of. Yeah, those ones.
That's pretty good. And they all begin with different letters of the alphabet, which would have been really helpful earlier today when I was setting up all those tweets. So in case anybody didn't notice the A to Z's that we got today.
Great job, though. Great job, really.
Hey,
and if anybody out there has a wrestling move that legitimately starts with the letter Q, please let us know, because we looked everywhere. I'm in the middle of working, and this guy's asking me, can you get me some wrestling moves with Q, W, X, Y, and Z? I'm like, bro, I'm trying to do work here.
Yeah, Q is an interesting, definitely interesting. It would be an interesting name. Yeah. There's like isn't there a mass wrestler Q or something?
Yes, Mysterious Q.
Probably has something like that.
I Googled it. I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, me either.
All right, so favorite WrestleMania?
Oh. It would be either WrestleMania 23 or WrestleMania 30. Because WrestleMania 23, as I said before, that is the first WrestleMania that I watched like full length, the entire show. And by the time I was watching WrestleMania 30 now, I was watching it in a very different way. While WrestleMania 23 was all like as a fan or like a teenager, WrestleMania 30 was like I was trying to analyze it but still enjoy it. And the Daniel Bryan story, I mean, it was so good. Both of them.
Cooper just dropped the Q chokehold.
Cooper's a man.
I was hoping that someone would have like the Q-tip as like or a Q-bomb as like a move for that, but nothing.
We'll figure it out. We're gonna have to name one of Damien's submission holds with a Q. We'll figure it out.
The Q-tip, what Umaga used to do, just to the ear.
Yeah. I love it.
I dare you to do that in your next match.
The A4 I'll do.
The A4, yeah, that's different. So you mentioned bartending, and I don't know if it's formal bartending or just throwing beers, but do you have a favorite order or favorite drink to make as a bartender?
If I'm very busy, I just like the orders of beer, so I can just give bottles. If I have the time, maybe an old fashioned because I take my time to actually make it, and I started enjoying them way more since my friend, the other bartender, one, he taught me really how to do them in a very good way. So probably old fashioned if I have the time to do it, if I'm not rushing.
What about a Negroni? How's
Oh,
your
that too.
Negroni? How's your
That,
Negroni style? That's what I want to know because that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
real test.
Yes, exactly, exactly. I like that. You know your drinks.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to get hooked up with a Negroni one of these points. All right. Favorite city to wrestle in so far?
Tyrone is climbing there. Tyrone is really Tyrone. I'm switching my accent pretty quickly. I'm kind of tired, but Tyrone is climbing the number 1 spot. Maybe it's gonna tie it up with, I guess, we're Atlanta with the WWE 4. So it's a tie. Atlanta with the A4 and Tyrone with Action. Because they were like, Action was the first promotion kind of to mm, maybe believe in me, and that really means a lot to me. So definitely.
Chuck, you got any favorites?
I thought there was going to be another promotion thing going. I thought I saw the light going on in the background.
I was thinking about it. Then we got super serious.
Oh.
Cheap plug alert again. You can follow me on Twitter at Damyan Tangra. Thank you very much.
You're traveling around. You're stopping at some place to get something to eat on the road. What snack or what food are you noshing on?
It has started, I guess, so far as a little tradition. If we have some people from the WWE 4 different shows, and we try to do like 1 or 2 carloads, we'll do a Waffle House after the show, and then we'll just like go crazy with the waffles and whatever everybody's having. But that so far has been like the trend, just hitting Waffle House after the shows. Um, Besides that, I just try to like stay away from all the bad stuff, which I'm not the best at it. I'm still learning about that, but maybe in time I will behave better.
What's the order at the Waffle House?
I get, depending on the day and how much I thought I deserve it, I'll get either 2 or 3 waffles, 2 chocolate, 1 peanut butter. And then after I eat them, I'll feel so bad because all the sugar. I feel sick. Somebody save me, but it's too late. And then there's the suplex assassin who
The
became
Waffle Assassin.
The Waffle Assassin.
The Waffle Assassin, and he can eat 1 or 2 waffles with the chicken and all the whatever crazy meals he does with the orange juice, and yeah, I cannot compete with that.
I just in my head, I have a picture of Alex just like ninja starring waffles at people like.
Exactly.
I don't know why. Okay, so now this is an odd question, but since we're talking, Cat.
This is a different cameo. This is very curious. That's Danny Tangra.
Danny Tangra.
Since we're talking about waffles and all that kind of stuff, what's your ranking on pancakes, waffles, and French toast?
I make what is it? Crepes.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have like my own like crepe making thing when you have to spin it.
Nice.
I used to work that a little bit. I was making crepes and sandwiches and all that. I have done so many things. It's crazy. But
you were such the scientist at everything. Yeah, that's the funny thing.
The crepe scientist. See, that goes either way. You can be a waffle assassin and a crepe scientist too. But I'll do crepes first, waffles, pancakes, French toast.
No love for the French toast.
No
No
love for
love
the
for the
French
French
toast.
toast.
Val is having issues with the waffle talk too. She needs to understand how you take your pancakes.
Um, I don't have any particular reason or way. Just chocolate. I don't know.
Okay. As long as it's
Nothing.
not dry like a psycho killer, we're okay.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
There's issues with
Definitely
that.
not.
Crepes, the skinny cousin of the pancake.
Yes.
I got nothing. I got no other favorites, Christopher.
No, that was a good roll up of favorites. So I'm gonna set the scene for you, and then we're gonna get on to our last few questions here. But Chris Jericho and you, we're going one-on-one. I want to know what type of match, where it's happening.
Hmm. Let's do Madison Square Garden because everybody chooses that. uh,
Many folks do. Yes.
yeah. I mean, it's hard to top that. Let's do, or we can do the national stadium in Bulgaria, which can
Ooh.
fit up to 102,000, 120,000 people. Let's do that one. National Stadium in Sofia, Bulgaria. Um, what kind of match? Depending on the feud and the build, we might do a three stages of hell, where
Ooh.
maybe it ends with a table. Because with the tables, you can do like, oh, is it gonna fold? Is it not gonna fold? Then set up a bunch of tables, and then somebody falls out of nowhere.
I love the thought process. I love that it's not just, he's like, well, maybe it depends on the program and the story leading up to it, and it's not just a match. No, it's everything that leads up to that match. I love that mindset, and that really is the mat scientist, the wrestling scientist, the waffle scientist, the crepe professor, whatever you want to be.
The great professor.
I thought of something.
Oh,
We can
okay.
have the first ever goat match, greatest of all time goat. So you have a goat that's very enraged, and whoever gets hit by the goat loses. I have to patent that. I don't know how to do it, but I have to do it.
I don't even like.
I love it.
We're just making T-shirts. We're making matches. We're making brand new stipulations that no one's ever even heard before for a reason. So we've gotten this far. We've gotten to the favorites. I don't see anything else in the chat other than the fact that Val says it's okay that you're wrong. Pancakes are better than French toast, crepes, and waffles.
Okay.
But we've gotten to the end. Before I give the reins to the captain on the most important question of the night, I want to understand if you had the opportunity to speak to the 10-year-old Matt Scientist, the 10-year-old Damyan Tangra. He's growing up, he's getting into
Yeah.
wrestling, he's not quite sure what's going to come next. What do you tell 10-year-old you?
I'll go and say, do gymnastics, bro. Do gymnastics so you can go the crazy flips. No, I mean, all jokes aside, I think I had, as everybody, like good times, good memories, bad memories, of course, mistakes, and also moments that I'm proud of. But um, without all of those, I wouldn't. I'm not thinking that I'm anybody or whatever the case is, but I wouldn't be the person or the wouldn't have the moral code that I have today if it wasn't for my parents and my good moments and bad moments from childhood and all my upbringing. So I yeah, it's like everybody else. I think I could have done some things better, but also I think just because I didn't, now I know when the similar thing happens, I can react in a maybe more mature way or a smarter way. So but the gymnastic thing definitely good. Do gymnastics, bro.
Do gymnastics, bro.
It's a valid it's a valid thing to tell yourself, you know, especially with getting into wrestling. It's going to help you out later on.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to do all the flippy flips.
430 430 whatever Kimura lock. Jump into the Kimura.
A 430 Kimura lock. Man, we're just making up stuff.
I used to joke with everybody that everybody does the 450. I'll just do a 451. It's like 1 degree more. And then it's like you're the best high flyer because you do 1 degree more than everybody else.
That's another great shirt right there. I mean,
well, that's kind of like the man of 1,001 holds, right?
Yeah.
Man of 1,002 holds.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. And now we're hopefully going to end this interview off on the most fun question with the most correct answer that we could possibly think of. But that's up to you. And the question is, in regards to Oreo cookies, those little chocolate cookies with cream on the inside, are you on team single stuff, the regular old played out Oreo cookie, or
not biased.
No, not biased at all, or are you on team double stuff? Where do your allegiances lie?
Before we get to the truth, it'll be a cheap plug time. Just wanted to say shout out to everybody at WWA4. You guys know who you are. Keep killing it because everybody's super passionate. We have people everywhere. Just keep doing what you're doing. Whoever was like influenced me a lot, Air Fox, Bobby Flacco, Alex Kane, everybody, Leon Ruff, Austin Theory, whoever you might be, you guys are crazy good. So, and with that being said, the most important question. You are a very good seller. You were almost about to sell me on the double stuff Oreos, but the truth is, and you can't handle the truth. I like the single stuff Oreos with hot milk.
Wait, what?
Hot milk?
Okay, first of all, I'm completely out with the whole dunking in milk anyway. That's just me. But hot milk?
Hot milk. You can also like put them in your mouth and drink the milk. That's the same thing. I came the entire thing of Oreos.
But okay, so how does the milk get hot? Are we warming up the milk in the microwave? Like, and how hot are we talking? Are we talking like hot chocolate? Are we talking like just a little warm? Like what? Cooper's disturbed. I mean, you've ruined Cooper. He's very concerned in the chat right now.
You know what? I'll let me answer again. I don't want to hurt Cooper. No, I'm kidding. No. But the thing, yeah, you just put it in microwave, like kind of like not exactly like hot chocolate, maybe warm, so that it kind of melts it.
Warm milk, okay. Are you're dunking it in the warm milk too?
I can, yeah, and then it's very difficult to clean the glass afterwards.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's the reality.
The chat is off the rails. Everyone's disturbed. No one knows.
Does anybody have questions?
They're questioning warm milk and a single stuff Oreo. That's what they're questioning, David.
We can have a warm milk versus cold milk feud.
It is a feud.
The loser drinks the other person's preference of milk.
What's the event other than just eating Oreos? Because I'm not wrestling you.
Oreo Mania.
Oreo Mania.
Man, that's a shirt. Oh,
that is a shirt.
Oreo Mania running wild, brother.
I am making that. Okay, sorry. Getting a lot of good ideas.
I know, right?
It's been amazing. We've had a ton of fun. We've had a blast. The chat is disturbed. They don't know what's going on. We're just ignoring them at this point. All the questions have been asked. Damyan, thank you. Thank you for coming in and chatting with us. Before we do all the plugs and sell the lights off, where else can people go find you? I guess that is a plug. Where else could the people go find you? Where else could people go find the Matt Scientist, and where could they see you soon?
That is maybe not a cheap plug, but an extensive plug, so this might be off. But no, it is on. You can find me on social media. I'm on every social media with Damyan Tangra, DamyanTangra. I do TikTok, so if you want to know what my cats are doing, you can follow me on TikTok too. I have Patreon, same name, Damyan Tangra. YouTube. My goal, like short-term goal for this year, is to kind of like, if I'm able to monetize my YouTube this year, that'll be great. It's kind of like working towards that way, but we'll see. And wrestling wise, I will be in Tampa. I don't know for who. I don't know when, but I will be in Tampa.
All right, excited to hear that. Okay, can you give us a when we'll know by? Like, when do you think we'll know where you're going to be in Tampa, where we can go see you? Soon? Later?
Soon, yeah. Soon. What is it, 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, it's coming up. Before you go to Tampa, will we know where you're going to be?
I hope. I'm trying to find out too. Sometimes I find out. Yeah, but hopefully soon. A lot of announcements have been made too, but I haven't announced anything yet. So I don't know. Last time you guys announced my match, I didn't know about my match until you announced it. So
you like that? I like that.
We do that sometimes.
Yeah, which was great. I loved it.
So we'll definitely look out for that. Obviously, I mean, everything you've done so far with Action and hopefully tomorrow night with Southern Underground Pro and some of the Paradigm stuff that's going to come out, and obviously being one of the WWA 4 guys, I mean, it's just fun to watch all the things you're putting together for IWTV, all the things you guys are putting out there that we can consume in the independent wrestling world. So honestly, thank you. I know this guy's a big fan. I'm a big fan. Really love what you're doing, man, and keep it up. We're excited to see where it goes. Hopefully to that Bulgarian revolution of Bulgarian strong style.
Imagine that. Thank you very much, guys. You were very, very respectful and very, very fun to talk to. And thank you for having me on your Bald Monkeys podcast on Twitch. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Damyan.
We appreciate the plug. Everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out. Obviously, go check out Damyan on all those shameless plugs. Make sure we've been plugging it through the chat all night long. You can go follow us on the Bald Monkeys everywhere as well. Go check out our comic collaboration shirt. Casey Catal is only on sale until Sunday. It goes away.
Sunday.
And then issue 3 is in the books. It is being prepared, and it comes out April 2nd, and it is not going to be who you think it is. It's going to be somebody special. I'm not telling you. I'm not giving any hints, but stay tuned for issue number 3, and don't you know, 4 and 5 are in the works. We're not done yet. Maybe there's a Bulgarian comic book coming. Who knows? It could be. Maybe it's a puppet. Maybe it's a castaway. I don't know. Those weren't hints at all. I'm just blurting out things as I say goodbye. So, Damyan, thank you so much. Everybody, thanks for hanging out. See everybody next time.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Visit iwtv.live today to watch these great Action wrestling events, plus numerous other archive shows from Action and other great independent promotions. Use code ACTION for a free 5-day trial. Don't miss out. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Bald Monkeys. Watch us live on our new Twitch channel, twitch.tv/thebaldmonkeys.